Okay, welcome to another video in the 52 book project. In this video, I'm going to share um, a few notes about my experience reading the book Home in the World, a memoir by Amartya Sen. This is basically his autobiography. Amartya Sen is a Nobel Prize winning economist, and he's world renowned for his academic work, um, especially in development economics. In this book, I think I was just curious about his perspective, growing up in India, immigrating to another country, and what it's like to be an academic. And I think I got what I wanted from this book. It was a rather long book in terms of he's led a long, illustrious life. So he goes into a lot of details about, the different phases in his life. Like he grew up in Bangladesh before it was Bangladesh, and then his family moved to Calcutta, and he spent a lot of time at an alternate school called in Shantiniketan that was started by the poet Rabindranath Tagore. And I really liked the chapters in the book where he spoke about how their approach to learning was very different at Shantiniketan, where people would engage in long debates about several different topics that were not always connected to, immediate curricular objectives. Teachers were always open to engage in these discussions with students. And then he moved to university in Calcutta, where he was able to meet a lot of contemporaries who eventually also became um, like his colleagues in the academic setting, and he spoke very highly of his discussions with friends at a coffee house in front of his university. And then I think there was a chapter where he spoke about the way he dealt with illness. He got like mouth like a mouth ulcer that they had to do radiation with. There was a fear for cancer, and there was a fear for his life. There was I think a 40 to 50% chance of survival there. So it was like a like a difficult time for him personally, and it stayed with him for the rest of his life. Um, right after he spoke about how he moved to the University of Cambridge, and I loved this part of the book because he spoke about a lot of his colleagues who went on to become, world leaders, prime ministers, uh, you know, like development economists. Um, but I really enjoyed how he had this ability to talk about the things he learned from each person in his journey. Whether they were professors or friends or students, he'd always take something from their life and try to apply it in his own life. And then, towards the end of the book, he spoke about why he decided to choose the area of research that he chose. Some of the chapters, especially were a little harder to read if you don't have that background in economics. But if you stay with it, you understand his philosophy and his approach and the way he thinks. I think those chapters would be appreciated a lot more by people that study economics. But I think by the end of the book, you understand that like philosophy and a wide understanding of world politics is such an important part of, you know, helping you understand where you want to add value to in the world. Like he spent a lot of, even though he was a trained economist, he spent a lot of time reading about world politics and, different philosophical approaches, and that really shaped his thinking as an economist. So I think in that sense, he was someone that was very well read, but he was also someone that was open to, ideas that were different to his. And he was also someone like one of the books I that he wrote that I really enjoyed was called The Argumentative Indian. And he speaks about how holding like a discussion and having a constructive argument is a very important part of your development. as a thinker. So those were definitely things that came through in this book. Um, yeah, and I really enjoy reading autobiographies, and this was something that I'm glad I stayed with, and I'm glad I read this till the end.